Monsieur Raymond.
Aegis, we are very pleased to see you again. It was very unwise of us to leave the Société without such a capable bodyguard as yourself. It is a miracle that we got here safely.
What do you want to talk to me about?
Have you ever heard of the Club de Massiac, Aegis?
No, monsieur.
It's an association that meets at the Hotel de Massiac, just west of Les Halles. It counts some of the wealthiest plantation owners in the Empire. Those from Saint-Domingue and the Petite Santilles, our most formidable adversaries. They are waging a war of influence to keep the slave trade going, and resort to the vilest methods to achieve their ends. They worship nothing but money, and their greed is matched only by their cruelty.
I'm sure they'd get along swimmingly with the clockwork tyrant.
Regrettably, my interests occasionally require me to suffer their company. 2 months ago, I was in Le Havre to settle some business with the Admiralty, when I overheard a conversation between two planters from Bastère. If they are to be believed, the Club de Massiac is plotting to create sleepless slaves, des esclaves sans sommeil. Those were their exact words. It's hard to say what this could possibly mean, but I fear they plan to administer some foul drug to their slaves to force them to toil day and night, without rest. Our organization will not let these poor souls endure such a hell. Aegis, we must look into this. It is a matter of great urgency.
You speak of greed, Monsieur Raymond. But could you enlighten us as to what makes you any different from the planters you condemn?
What exactly do you accuse me of, Monsieur de Robespierre? S'il vous plaît, do tell.
Do you not also exploit the labor of these poor souls yourself on your indigo plantation?
I fight every minute of every day to improve their condition. No one would have the audacity to deny this.
If that's the case, then why wait? Free them. You preach abolition, yet you continue to line your pockets at their expense. The truth is, you refuse to upend the established colonial order because your entire fortune depends on it.
It's easy to criticize from atop Mount Olympus, Maximilian. You know nothing of the realities of Saint-Domingue. What would happen to all these people if I freed them tomorrow? Without an education, without a livelihood, I would be condemning them to the most abject misery. No. I must act with both compassion and realism.
Any reform, revolutionary or not, must be taken step by step, with moderation and prudence.
This reform is not so difficult. I've begun it myself at La Belle Gabrielle, my plantation in Guyane. There you will not find slaves, but workers who earn a weekly wage. And my plantation is no less profitable.
Ah, yes, profit. Because that's the most important thing. Don't you see, the law of nature gives every man the right to cultivate his own land.
Enough! When will you understand that your internal divisions favor only your common enemy?
Aegis is right, messieurs. Un peu de calme, je vous prie. What Monsieur Raymond has related to us is extremely worrying. We must find out more about this plot to create sleepless slaves as quickly as possible. Aegis, you are the only one who stands a chance of making it to the Hotel de Massiac alive.
Citoyen Robespierre,
Madame.
is your plan to arm the populace going as planned?
Oh, far from it, Madame. The situation is hopeless. Even if they were armed and formed into battalions, the Patriots would not be able to fight.
Why is that?
Most of the strategic points in the city are inaccessible. A strange illness strikes all who try. They are seized by an irrational fear, one so great that those who do not lose consciousness go mad or perish on the spot. This makes it impossible to do anything. Any attempt at an uprising is a fool's errand.
The locations you mentioned share a common feature. A statue holding a lantern.
That's right. From what little I could make out, they appear to be depictions of a Vestal Virgin watching over the sacred fire.
Une lanterne des morts.
What do you mean, monsieur?
Lanterns of the dead. Ancient stone pillars that are found near some cemeteries. Our ancestors kept a fire going on top of them. Today, no one knows what they were used for. A symbol of light triumphing over darkness, perhaps? Others claim that human bones, mercury and lime, were burnt there. Some odious sorcery that was meant to entrap the tormented souls that wandered around the burial grounds.
That makes sense and confirms my observations. I'm now certain that the King's lanterns capture the anima essence of the dead who have been cast into purgatory, and that this essence is what allows the automats to stay in motion, without needing a key to wind them.
Paternoster quies in celis sanctificetur nomen tuum.
Now that I think about it, madame, you obviously are not subject to the harmful effects of these lanterns.
No, au contraire. When activated, these statues reveal an apparatus that allows me to repair myself.
It follows that if you destroy these lanterns, the people will be free to fight again.
Unfortunately, they are preternaturally strong. Nothing can so much as damage them.
Come now, no metal is indestructible. If we knew what these lanterns were made of, perhaps I could find a way to destroy them.
Where should I start looking?
Start by poking around the factories near Monsieur de Vaucanson's workshop. That's where the automats were forged. I'd wager the lanterns were made there as well.
Were you present when the Estates General was dissolved?
Oui, madame. I had a front row seat. I witnessed what it cost to defy the crown. We laid bare before the king the abject misery of his subjects. It was more than he could suffer. So he had the people's representatives dispersed by means of bayonets. At least we only had to contend with soldiers made of flesh and blood. Positively angelic compared to the machines that have swept through Paris.
Goodbye, citoyen, and Citoyen Lavoisier,
What can I do for you, Aegis?
how do you intend to counter the king's actions?
Unfortunately, we don't have the upper hand. For now, we can only hope to protect ourselves from him. I am convinced that something is afoot. Something that could destroy all our hopes in an instant.
You have my full attention.
You should know that I am a gunpowder commissioner. As such, I oversee the provision of gunpowder to the kingdom's arsenals, l'Arsenal de Paris in particular. For the past 2 days, a large quantity of gunpowder from Marsangy has been sitting near Les Invalides. It's in a warehouse by the factories. But the men I sent to take possession of the cargo and transport it to the Arsenal have gone missing. Do you realize what this means?
The gunpowder could have fallen into our enemy's hands.
It's possible. One thing is certain. It's enough to destroy half of Paris. Whether it is still in the warehouse or has fallen into the wrong hands, we must find it urgently. Then, if possible, we must neutralize it.
How?
Simply by placing it in contact with water. Nothing could be easier in theory, but we must find a way to flood it.
Flood the gunpowder? You're out of your mind, Lavoisier. We're in the most desperate of situations and you want to deprive us of such a valuable resource. What will our cannons use once we have formed our army of patriots?
Your army, Marquis, is presently but a figment of your imagination.
I see. So you're one of those men who would sound the retreat before the battle has even begun.
I will go to the warehouse. Once I have located the powder, I will decide what to do with it. Goodbye, Citoyen Lavoisier. field with the dead tree. I might be able to stop this experiment and get my hands on Cagliostro. This coat of arms. It's from the bat. I understand now. They must have taken Citoyen Lavoisier's gunpowder to the Bastille. It was within my reach earlier. Traces of gunpowder. Barrels were stored here and rolled away. These grooves prove it. Not a single one escaped. The field with the dead tree. Don't move!
Ah, that cursed dancer! May you be devoured by rust!
Fortunately, he was unable to take his things with him. The sleepless slaves. They meant the automats. Feeding off the blood of innocent people. Monsieur Raymond was completely mistaken. I must inform him.
Dieu Tout-Puissant!
Madame de Polignac.
It's dreadful, Aegis. All is lost.
How were you able to leave some clue?
Earlier, after you ventured out into the palace grounds, all of the machines that were guarding us set out after you. I seized the opportunity to go to the stables and jump into a horseless carriage.
If only you told of this escape plan. I could have assisted you. What are you doing here, madame?
The children, Aegis. Charlotte and the Dauphin. The Queen and the Marquis de Lafayette did everything they could do to save them from the King's madness. I spent days working out every detail of this operation with the greatest secrecy. The preparations for departure with our accomplices in the Queen's house. The children's escape, hidden inside this wagon. Our meeting here, in this very place. Then our departure with the riders who were to ensure our safe passage all the way to Austria. They would have been safe there with their uncle, the Emperor. But you can see for yourself. The children are nowhere to be seen.
And you decided it would be best to keep me in the dark. This was a grave mistake, madame.
Poor Monsieur Cléry. He was the Dauphin's valet. The poor soul gave his life to protect the little ones.
Four horses for 3 men. Clearly, one attacker is missing. A red cap with a rooster embroidered on it. A list of staging posts between Paris and Liège. 100 leagues. That is a long way. A week at the very least, if all goes well. What could Lafayette have had in mind? I am sure that Madame de Polignac will be able to tell me more. Madame, the attackers all bear the same red cap with an embroidered rooster.
It's the symbol worn by those who support the Duc d'Orléans.
One of them had a map indicating all the staging posts from here to the Principality of Liège.
Liège? That rabble-ridden city is where the Duke and his miscreants have established their base.
Over here, there are 4 dead horses, and the body of a 3rd man wearing a red cap.
4 horses for 3 men. That means one assailant managed to get away. It's beyond doubt. The Duke's men have taken the children. They're the ones behind this ambush, and they knew every detail of our plans. We were betrayed.
But surely the ambush did not go exactly as planned. 3 of them lost their lives.
That's true. If only we could catch the one who was able to escape. But now that I think about it, the riders that the Marquis de Lafayette promised us, if they made it here, they may have been able to surprise the kidnappers and stop them from carrying out their misdeed. By the grace of God, they may already be on their way to Vienna with the children.
The riders did not make it, madame. They perished at the hands of the royal army.
Sainte Mère de Dieu. C'est une catastrophe. The Marquis de Lafayette must be informed of this terrible turn of events. Without delay.
I shall see to it, madame. As for you, please return to the Queen at once. You have taken enough risks as it is.
Find the children, Aegis. Je vous en supplie.
is here, but what to do with it? Shall I destroy it? To ensure that no one will use it against the people of Paris? Or shall I entrust it to General de Lafayette? I will fulfill General de Lafayette's request. Only he can lead the war against the tyrant. Citoyen Raymond.
Can I help you, Aegis?
I went to the Hotel de Massiac as agreed. What I discovered goes beyond your darkest conjectures. The club's members have no intention of merely depriving their slaves of rest. Rather, with the tyrant's support, they plan to replace them with automat harvesters. Naturally, Cagliostro, that cur, is behind this.
Ma foi. But such a plan would certainly only improve the lot of these unfortunate people.
You are mistaken, mon père. If the planters get their way, they will have a greater need of slaves than ever. Only this time, they intend to slaughter them to power their machines.
Quelle abomination!
Par tous les saints.
4 days ago, the Paris Guard captured 100 black people. They were to be sacrificed as part of an experiment to test the effectiveness of the automat harvesters. Luckily, I was able to prevent the massacre.
Where are they now?
In a place they call the Dépôt des Noirs. I don't know where it is, but I managed to get the key. It bears the inscription, Tour du Diable.
The Devil's Tower is a prison in Vincennes, within the chateau walls.
That's 3 leagues from here. We'll only be able to free the prisoners once we're able to move freely ourselves.
At least they were spared the fate that the king and his accomplices had planned for them.
And what will you do with the 2 servants you employ, Monsieur Raymond?
I will continue to treat them well, as I always have.
However, under the laws you insist on following, they will become slaves again the moment they leave the kingdom for Saint-Domingue.
Certainly not, Monsieur de Robespierre. What kind of a man would I be if what I have heard had not opened my eyes? The planters of Massiac have been proven to be nothing but avaricious murderers. I thought I was dealing with opposition, but now I discover them to be vile enemies, from whom it would be vain to expect any compromise. From this day on, I will fight against their interests with all my strength, and will not lay down my arms until the last slave in the Empire has been freed.
Rest assured, then, that the people will fight by your side, Monsieur Raymond.
That's the spirit, my friends. Vive l'égalité.
General Lafayette.
Do you need help, Aegis?
I went to the meeting point you indicated. I had an unexpected encounter there.
Get to the facts. Who did you meet there?
Madame de Polignac, the Queen's favorite. She made no secret of her reason for being in that desolate place. So now I know all about the precious cargo that is the cause of your great concern.
Seigneur. The children. What happened? Tell me that nothing bad has happened to them.
That remains to be determined. One thing is certain. Charlotte and the young Dauphin are missing. The evidence points to an ambush by the Duc d'Orléans' men. They apparently attacked the wagon the children were hiding in.
How the hell did they know?
This ambush could not have taken place without an accomplice. You were betrayed.
A plague on Orléans and his damned informants. They have taken the children.
That still remains to be seen. It seems that the Duke's men were interrupted while carrying out their task. 3 of them lost their lives. A 4th was able to escape.
Excellent. I bet it was my hussars who sent the vermin running. But why the hell haven't they reported to me yet?
Because they perished. Every last one of them. Mowed down by the royal automats. I found their remains outside the stables.
Oh, no. The poor souls. But then, the children. They must be in the hands of the scoundrel Orléans.
We have no proof of this.
In that case, there is not a minute to lose. We must get to the bottom of this and save the children, if there is still time. Oh, if I could get my hands on that rat Marat. I'd find a way to make him talk, believe you me.
Goodbye, General Lafayette. And down with the... Citoyen Lavoisier,
What can I do for you, Aegis?
I found the powder. It is at the Bastille.
Ah, what good news. Is it in good condition?
Of course.
What do you mean? Am I to understand that you have not done what needed to be done?
Yes. Now all that is left is for the Marquis and his men to retrieve the powder and load it into their cannons.
What men? What cannons?
We will raise our army soon, you can be sure, and we will then be able to confront the royal army.
You do not measure the import of your actions and your words, Monsieur le Marquis, always rushing headlong into things. The Bastille is an ancient fortress that was not designed to house such large quantities of explosives. The tiniest spark could cause a catastrophe. The iron from a boot or the point of a sword scraping against the stone. Thanks to you, we are now at the mercy of chance.
There is no such thing as chance, Citoyen Lavoisier. If we are defeated, we will have only our failures to blame. I found this ledger with a list of metals in it.
Let's see. Steel, molybdenum, very good. Tiens, donc, tungsten and zirconium. This master blacksmith knows his trade. These metals can be used to make the strongest alloy imaginable, as long as you have a fortune to invest.
For that, our clockwork tyrant knows no bounds.
Well, Citoyen Lavoisier, is there any way to break this alloy?
Break it? Certainly not. But a mineral acid could change its structure. Melt it, perhaps. I would recommend sulfuric acid, or vitriol, if you prefer to use its common name.
Where can I obtain some vitriol?
I had some, but my laboratory at L'Arsenal was ransacked. I can't tell you any more than that. You should ask my colleague, Monsieur Bailly. He uses similar substances in his research.
Goodbye. Citoyen B.
Ah.
Would you happen to know where I could find some vitriol?
Sulfuric acid? Of course. Combined with sea salt and green copperas, we use it to polish the lenses of our telescopes. But I don't know how much we have. You would need to go to the Louvre and take a look at the observatory's storeroom to find out.
If you will allow me to.
Of course, madame. Here is the key.
Goodbye.
like it anymore!
Chin up, old man. Bite down on this strip of leather. I'm going to take a closer look at your wound. Oh, it's more serious than I thought. Look at me. You have to hang in there, all right? You mustn't fall asleep. Old son. No. I'm losing him.
Is there any way I can help you?
Senor, an automat. What can I expect from you, other than the cruel fate that your fellow monsters reserve for patriots?
Monsieur, I am not anything like them.
Honestly, I don't have much of a choice. I have to take you at your word and ask for your help. I have with me a fighter who has lost his leg. He's already lost a lot of blood. If I don't operate within the hour, I doubt he will survive. Unfortunately, I do not have any surgical tools with me. Would you be so kind as to find me something I can use to save this brave man?
Here, monsieur. I hope this will be suitable.
Parbleu. You're an angel here on Earth. I will make sure that this poor man knows to whom he owes his life. Leave me now. I must be alone to carry out this delicate operation.
This mattress is stained with blood, as is this jacket. Who could have stayed here? Citoyen Marat will no doubt be able to tell me.
Are you making progress, madame?
Yes, I'm working on it. Citoyen Marat, you owe me an explanation. Did you take part in an operation that aimed to kidnap the Dauphin and his sister Charlotte?
Me take part in an operation? Nonsense. My only weapon is my pen, and I have sharpened it, believe you me. That said, we did receive some information concerning the children. Unfortunately, I'm sworn to secrecy. If such an operation did indeed take place, Monsieur de Leclos would have been the one behind it. Why not ask him in person?
Madame, I owe you the truth. Know that I did not intend to harm them in any way. We wanted to take them to the Duke in Liège, where they would have been used as bargaining chips. One of our men was part of the entourage of the children's governess, Madame de Polignac. We knew that they were to secretly leave Versailles, and we knew where they were to meet the escort that would take them to Austria. I sent a dozen of my men to watch the rendezvous point. When the time came, when they tried to take the children, the automats were ready. By all appearances, Lafayette and the Queen had been betrayed. I lost 2 of my men. The others were able to escape and return to Montmartre. They were the ones who brought me word of this unmitigated disaster. As for the children, the machines seized them and set off towards Versailles.
No doubt they've been reunited with their father.
Who laid on this blood-stained mattress?
Oh, it's a strange story. I suppose you heard about what happened in Place Dauphine?
Indeed. I went there.
Well, we took in one of the survivors of the massacre. The only survivor, it seems. Despite his serious injuries, he was particularly talkative.
What did he tell you?
He kept saying that Lafayette was a traitor in the king's pay. That the flaxen-haired hero had deliberately handed his brand new National Guard over to the automats.
What evidence did your guest have?
Nothing substantial, unfortunately. It was based on a simple rumor that was circulating in the camp shortly before the Royal Army attacked. It would appear that several volunteers carried a yellow cartridge in their cartridge pouches. Most likely a subtle way for the conspirators to recognize each other. The subsequent disaster would tend to confirm this hypothesis. Vous ne croyez pas?
These are suspicions. Nothing more.
Right you are. Oh, if only I had proof of this conspiracy. Then I'd be able to scutter the ambitions of that cur Lafayette for good. The would-be dictator's plans would be foiled.
I must get to the bottom of this urgently.
Very well. I encourage you to do so. But remember that the Marquis could not have acted alone. If you can't find anything implicating him, look into the members of his staff. Start in Place Dauphine, where those brigands sullied the ground with their boots.
Citoyen Leclos.
Can I help you, madame?
The Queen read your novel, but the King banned it. What is it about?
My liaison dangereuse is about two libertine aristocrats who carry out a discreet war wherein they corrupt the innocent. The man loses his life, the woman loses her reputation. Between you and me, it is not entirely fictional. I was inspired by some of the vile acts that I had myself innocently and helplessly witnessed. I thought I was doing a service for morality by denouncing this depravity. But the king, in his sovereign folly, took it as an attack on the court. As for the queen, who knows? Perhaps this perverse banter was a way to distract her from her deadly boredom for a while.
Do you plan to ever return to the army?
Well, regarding my career, neither my birth nor my wealth allowed me to rise above the rank of Capitaine en Second, and I can hardly hope for more. In the end, I believe that there are more effective ways to serve the nation and thwart its diabolical enemies.
Goodbye, Citoyen Lec, and down with... General Lafayette.
Do you need help, Agent?
I was able to speak with Citoyen Marat and Citoyen Leclos.
Ah, the scoundrels. Did you force them to confess? Do you know what they did with the children?
They admitted to organizing the ambush at Gros Caillou.
Cursed recreants. Cowardly corrupters of innocence. Where are they holding their prisoners? They must be rescued immediately.
They do not have Charlotte and the Dauphin.
Excuse me? They dare to claim that?
It is the truth. The ambush was a catastrophe. The king had gotten wind of your plans. Automats from Versailles slaughtered the kidnappers and seized the children. By now, the children will have been reunited with their father. There is little doubt about that.
Mon Dieu. Then it is from the clutches of that tyrant in his own palace that they must be saved. I fear that such an undertaking is doomed to failure, although there is no question of giving up.
Goodbye, General Lafayette. Citoyen Lavoisier,
What can I do for you, Aegis?
Here. A bottle of vitriol.
Bon sang, Aegis. I'll end up believing in miracles because of you. There's enough here to destroy one of these lanterns. I'm sure of that.
May we know how you intend to do this? Considering that none of us can so much as approach these cursed Vestals. Only Aegis is able to prove your theory. Oh, wonderful. Even if we had 20 barrels of acid, the people would have no way of using it.
You're not wrong, Maximilien. What do you suggest?
We must find a way to spray the vitriol from a distance.
Chaudolo de Laclos.
Excuse me, Monsieur le Marquis? What does the scandalous author have to do with the matter at hand?
Laclos is not just an author. He is also an artillery captain and a military engineer. He developed the idea of hollow, explosive cannonballs. I studied the patents in the office of the Minister of War. It is a revolutionary invention. Voyez-vous, the projectile is shot out of the cannon intact and only disperses its contents the moment it hits its target. Tests were done using cannonballs loaded with scrap metal, but...
But we could also fill them with vitriol.
That remains to be proven. That would require us to get hold of our engineer.
And convince him to share the secret of his invention with us. That said, the Capitaine de Laclos serves the Duc d'Orléans and his supporters. A band of conspirators who simply want to replace the current tyrant with a traitor. It is rumored that he is now their spy master. God only knows where he's hiding now.
You are mistaken, Citoyen Lafayette. It is no mystery to me. Goodbye, Citoyen Lavoisier. Citoyen Laclos.
Can I help you, madame?
The representatives of the people are asking for your help, monsieur.
Who exactly are you talking about?
The patriots and representatives of the Third Estate who escaped the massacre.
I need names, madame.
Monsieur de Robespierre, Monsieur Lavoisier, the Marquis de Lafayette.
All these men have declared themselves enemies of the cause to which we have sworn allegiance to.
Is there any cause more important than saving the nation?
No, of course not. And what do these so-called defenders of the people want from me?
They believe they have found a way to neutralize the royal automats for good. And to do it, they beg you to give them one of the explosive cannonballs you invented.
Ma foi, if there is a way to stop these death machines, then I have a duty to assist them. But you must understand that I shall remain on my guard. When doing deals with the enemy, you must take precautions for when the game ends.
If that's how you feel, then by all means take steps to ensure your safety.
Let me think. Where are the representatives?
At the Couvent des Cordeliers.
Very well. Here's what we're going to do. I will go to the convent immediately and try to negotiate a truce. As for you, here is the key to a trunk in the next room. It contains a prototype of my cannonball, as well as the patents and pages that explain how to manufacture it. Bring all of this to me at the convent. However, do not give me anything unless I specifically request it. Is that clear?
Perfectly clear, monsieur. I will follow your instructions.
Madame, these gentlemen and I have come to an agreement.
That is good news.
We will resolve our differences when the time comes. The matter is settled.
You can count on it, Laclos. But now it is clear that we are fighting the same adversary.
Adversary? You are rather indulgent, Monsieur le Marquis. It seems that you are still fond of him, despite his heinous crimes.
Oh, de grâce.
Truly, the king is no more than a wild beast. And together, in large numbers, we will hunt him down.
Madame, please give the model and the engineering notes to Monsieur de Robespierre. However, you shall hold on to the patents. No one knows what the future may hold.
Let there be peace between you gentlemen, for there is still much work to be done. We believe we now have a way to destroy the lanterns. Without them, the machines will no longer be able to carry out their sinister task. But it is still just a strategy, which needs to be tested. And even a conclusive experiment will not guarantee our success. Where will we find a working cannon? How will we get more vitriol? How will we make more cannonballs? Please, I ask each of you to set to work without delay. Pour la nation, messieurs.
Pour la nation.
Pour la nation.
Pour la nation.
Not even the commanding officer was spared. Lafayette didn't hand over his army to the king. This must certainly be Colonel Armand. I should keep looking around Place Dauphine. Yellow cartridges. The conspirators' secret sign. There was most certainly a conspiracy. There's no doubt about that. But those involved shared the same fate as the rest of them. A headquarters at the Pont au Change. By all appearances, it's not official. Most likely an underground hiding place that can be entered from the riverbank. I'll try to track down Capitaine Lefebvre. If he and his men withdrew to the Société des Amis des Noirs, he must have gone towards the Châtelet. It would have been a desperate move for certain. I doubt any of them survived the retreat. Poor souls. They died just steps from their goal. York. What does that mean? This place must be studied carefully. This document bears the signature of the Marquis de Lafayette, so the rumors were true. The Garde Nationale wasn't formed spontaneously. All of this was carefully orchestrated. It is high time the Marquis de Lafayette explained himself.
You called, Madame?
Aegis, thank heavens you're here. We're under siege.
In the courtyard, one of the king's creatures.
It seems determined to destroy the chateau walls. It's as if it came here for us.
Here is the key to the gate. It will lead you to the courtyard.
Hurry. Our lives are in your hands.
You're safe, Madame.
Mon Dieu. Aegis. Why did this abomination attack us?
I think you know, Madame. You saw how it obeyed you when you ordered it to stop fighting.
I don't understand a word of this nonsense.
I'm afraid your guardian angel seems to have a few screws loose, my queen.
No. You must listen to me. That creature was not trying to destroy you, Madame. It was trying to be near you. Listen to your heart. You know what it was. You know whose soul animated those cogs.
Stop it, please. Just stop.
You must know the truth. Everything is there, written in the king's own hand. How he ordered your son to be put to death. How he bound his soul to the machine I just destroyed. How they were unable to control this hateful thing.
My baby.
Oh, my queen.
My poor angel. In the hell he suffered. Wanted only to seek his mother's comfort.
No. No.
Curse you, Louis. The Butcher King. Murderer. Destroyer of innocence. He will pay for this unspeakable crime with his own head. I swear it on my life.
No, Antonia, my dear friend. Do not give in to this madness.
Leave us, Aegis. I must speak privately with Madame de Polignac.
Very well, Madame. General Lafayette.
Do you need help, Aegis?
General, there is a most unpleasant rumor about you going round.
Oh, just one, is there?
You are accused of having delivered the troops who had gathered in the Place Dauphine over to the king.
Calumny. This is nothing less than vile slander.
Save your breath, General. The rumor is true. I can prove it. There's no point in trying to defend yourself. I know that you raised the National Guard for the sole purpose of taking command of it. There was nothing spontaneous about the uprising.
Do you have any evidence to support your accusations?
I do. I have the manifesto.
Bon sang.
Why resort to this manipulation?
You must understand. What I have done, I did for the good of the kingdom. I wanted to stop this massacre while protecting the Queen and the Dauphin. In the name of the people, Aegis. But an actual uprising of the people would have inevitably led to disaster. Only professional soldiers could organize and lead the resistance.
Who were your accomplices?
My brothers in arms, the brave men of the Régiment de Saintonge, veterans of the American War, men who at the Battle of Yorktown brought an empire to its knees. Alas, we gravely underestimated the enemy's forces. We thought we would face an infantry supported by a handful of machines, but an entire army of automats. It was unthinkable.
Some accuse you of harboring a lust for power. The circumstances were to your advantage.
These aspersions are all too familiar to me. But tell me, if I wanted the crown for myself, why did I not take it when I returned from America? When I had seasoned troops at my command and the people sang my praises with one voice? No. That makes no sense. Though I readily admit that I do believe I am worthy of fulfilling an important role for the Queen after her son is crowned. Lieutenant General of the Kingdom, for example. Or even, if circumstance requires, the Regent. Voila. Now you know everything. I haven't left anything out. However, this truth, if it were made public, would play right into my enemy's hands. So I ask you not to reveal anything I've just told you, and to give me the manifesto.
No, General. You'll forgive me for choosing to hold on to it.
In that case, my fate remains in your hands. Can you at least tell me where my detractor is hiding? The one who is spreading these charming rumors about me.
He comes and goes. One day he's here, one day he's there. It would be pointless to try to confront him.
Oh, no matter. I will not let this serpent continue to vilify me. I shall get redress for these aspersions in the end.
Do as you wish, General de Lafayette. Goodbye, General. Citoyen Marat.
Madame?
I'm surprised to find you here. Did you follow me?
Didn't you know? The Duke's allies are always impeccably informed. Some even say that we have eyes and ears everywhere.
What do you want from me?
To tell you the truth, I can't wait to hear what you've discovered about the matter at hand. And I was afraid you might leave me in the lurch. You can never be too cautious these days. That's why I decided it would be better for me to come to you.
You were right. Lafayette was behind this purportedly popular uprising.
Aha! I've got him at last.
But he had no intention of handing his men over to the king. His goal was to raise an army and command the troops himself.
It doesn't matter. These troops would have allowed him to crush the Patriots and set himself up as a dictator. He lied to the people. He lied to the Assemblée Nationale. His time has come. All I need is for you to give me the proof of his treason.
Here. The details about the operation are written in this manifesto.
Madame, I didn't expect so much. The end of Mortier de Lafayette. The executioner has signed his own death warrant. I will now share these revelations with the people's representatives. Long live the Assemblée Nationale.
Marat, ça par exemple. You're certainly a bold one.
Monsieur, I have come to pay my respects.
Mon pauvre ami, you must be out of your mind to come and defy those you so cruelly maligned.
Maligned, you say? This remains to be seen, Monsieur de Mirabeau. I have here a document that its author has amusingly entitled Le Manifeste Henri V. It appears that the name Louis has fallen from fashion these days.
Quiet, scoundrel, or I'll make you swallow your tongue!
Come now, you wouldn't dare, my dear Mortier. Not when we're in such fine and plentiful company. Monsieur, in these pages, you will learn of the vast plot devised by the Marquis de Lafayette and his sinister conspirators. You will discover how our national hero orchestrated the so-called popular uprising that gave rise to the National Guard. Bon sang, Monsieur le Marquis. You will also learn that he has proclaimed himself General-in-Chief in the hope of making himself king in turn, and that it is his lust for power to which the patriots who fell in Place Dauphine owe their tragic fate.
C'est incroyable.
You must believe it, cher monsieur, because to add insult to injury, this tomfool was daft enough to sign his missive.
Par tous les saints.
If what Marat says is true, this is treachery of the basest sort.
Well, Monsieur le Marquis, do you deny it?
No, I don't. The loathsome Marat speaks the truth. I wanted to create an army that would be able to rid our kingdom of our anointed executioner, just as we freed America from England's choking grasp. I only kept it secret to avoid causing more chaos. Can you understand?
You defied the people, Lafayette. This is enough to condemn you.
So be it. You won't hear from me anymore. I leave the fate of the nation in the hands of the speechifiers and demagogues. I encourage you to say your prayers, gentlemen, for our end is near. As for you, rat, go back to the cesspit from whence you came. You should never have come out.
I will gladly follow that order, General. Such is my pleasure that it will be your last.
General Lafayette.
Oh.
You are accused. I know.
Do you have...
I do. Why is...
You must... What I want, but an only... My men, alas, we thought, but... These, when I... No, though, did not... Voila. However, so I... And to... Aegis, by doing this, you're not saving my honor. You're saving the future of the entire kingdom. Oh, and one more thing. Can you tell me where I can find my detractor? The one who told you the rumors about me?
He comes and goes. One day he's here, one day he's there. It would be pointless to try to confront him.
Oh, no matter. I will not let this serpent continue to vilify me. I shall get redress for these aspersions in the end.
Do as you wish, General de Lafayette. Goodbye, General. Citoyen Marat.
Madame?
I'm surprised to find you here. Did you follow me?
Didn't you know? The Duke's allies are always impeccably informed. Some even...
What do you want?
To tell you the truth, and I was afraid you can never be...
I found no incriminating facts. Nothing to indicate that the Marquis was involved in a conspiracy.
Come now, what do you mean? You sure you're not leaving anything out?
Why do you assail this man so?
Because I will not permit things to go from bad to worse. I will not allow the Patriots who are now fighting our tyrant to suffer yet another oppressor. That's why, in the name of the French people, I ask you one last time, do you have any proof to give me?
No. You must believe me.
Eh bien, if that's true, then there's no hope for us. I must admit defeat. We will have either the King or Lafayette, one despot or another. In either case, my fate is sealed. I will soon join the Duke in exile, and I will abandon my beloved people to their doom. I have no other choice.
You struggle in vain, dancer! You're not locked.
Monsieur, we have the king. It is now up to us to wield his scepter. In this trying time, crucial decisions must be made without delay.
First and foremost, we must take back Paris.
And how do we do that, mon Dieu? There are automats everywhere, and they are constantly regenerated by their crimes.
My strategy is the only viable solution. Monsieur Laclos' cannonballs filled with vitriol.
And where will we find the means to carry out your plan?
The city of Versailles is full of ateliers and shops. Moreover, as far as we have been able to see, the King's army has barely been deployed there, and it will not be too risky to look around.
Very well. Now, regaining control of Paris depends on our combined efforts.
Mais ensuite, once peace has been restored, what of the kingdom?
This is indeed a crucial issue. Leaving the nation without a government would expose it to the greatest danger.
Worse, it would condemn it to civil war.
Eh bien quoi, monsieur? Can you not govern together?
Unfortunately, the disagreements that divide our assembly run far too deep. That which we can agree is that we have been given a chance to choose the person who shall succeed the tyrant.
I claim this honor.
Excuse me? For what reason, je vous prie?
Enfin, simply consider the arguments for it.
Speak, Monsieur le Marquis. You have our full attention.
To begin with, I rescued the Dauphin from his father's clutches and ensured the dynasty's stability. The child will reign as Henri V. We will appoint someone with great wisdom to act as regent until he comes of age.
Fie. The people do not need a crowned puppet.
Yes, they do. Now more than ever before. Once the Assembly has adopted a constitution, the people will welcome a sovereign who will protect it.
A king and a constitution, like oil and water.
Go on, Monsieur le Marquis.
I have the gunpowder that the king had seized. With it, I shall ensure the security of the kingdom within and beyond its borders.
How can we be sure that you will not use it to oppress the people, or to embark on some foolhardy conquest? We know your ambitions, Monsieur le Marquis.
And you wrongly accuse me. I have never, in my entire life, done anything that was not to further the cause of freedom. Do you forget that in America I helped overthrow the English?
Of course not, mon ami. Who could forget that ruinous adventure?
You are quick to condemn men of action, provincial lawyer that you are. Monsieur, I rest my case.
Very well. Monsieur, we must now make our decision. May each of us respect this decision, and set aside our personal interests for the sake of peace and the common good. Who among you approves the appointment of the Marquis de Lafayette? The court bows before the Marquis de Lafayette, Lieutenant Général du Royaume.
Louis de Bourbon, former King of France, in the name of King Henri, fifth of his name, in light of the innumerable crimes of which you have been found guilty, this extraordinary royal court sentences you to the ultimate atonement. The sentence will be carried out on the hour. In its great mercy, the court will now hear your last words.
My loyal subjects, since you must lead a lamb to the altar, since you must offer a sacrifice to this new France that you intend to found, I will be that sacrifice. How dreadful this world is, where beauty is doomed to fade and flesh decays. I found no consolation in this world. I vainly thought I was giving our souls the gift of immortality beyond our mortal bodies. The Grim Reaper was my sworn enemy. Influenced by the most awful of men, I believed that the genius of machinery could overcome death itself. Alas, I have lost this fight, and am branded with the mark of murderer. Life, even more than the crown, was heavy for me to bear. I have suffered too long under the thumb of nature, which I despised. As a child, I saw my older brother die. I lost my father in the prime of his life, and then my mother, who was even younger. My beloved daughter did not live a year. As for my son, the first of my heirs, I unknowingly gave him to drink from a poisoned cup. I mourn the death of these poor souls daily. My death will not unite us, of this I am certain. For I, in my misery, have lost the support of my faith. So, executioner, lay me down on this board, Vertu. I will sleep now. Sleep at last, and not to dream.